evening. I'll call this meeting of the North Liberty Park Commission to order. So first order of business is that we had a correction to the October 7th minutes. So everybody reread or ready to, or we need to put in these minutes that those are approved as amended.
Okay,
Anybody so move?
I do.
Gwen moves.
I'll second that.
Second. Any objection to unanimous consent on that? Those minutes are approved. Now we'll move on November 4th meeting, our last meeting. Those minutes, everybody's had those were sent out. Any additions, corrections, or any changes to those? A motion for those?
So move.
Motion and a second again. Any objection to approving those minutes as read? We'll move right on. We can move right through tonight, so.
Yep.
We're shorthanded here, so Guy's got all the reports, and so he'll hit them one at a time, so he'll go with his Parks report first.
Sure. So, and some of what I know that Shelley would report on, I'm going to report on in my report. So, staff has been working on building maintenance stuff this past month. Continue to work with Shive Hattery and contractors regarding the pool heater project. We had a meeting today regarding the pool heater project. The heat exchanger that heats the pool finally made it here. It's installed. They have a bunch of testing to do. A lot of control stuff that has to be hooked up yet by Johnson Controls. But what they're saying right now is that the heater is going to be, they're going to supposedly start the heater up on the 9th of December. And hopefully if testing goes okay, that in a few days that would pool would be back open.
Good. I know
Great.
they've been
Yep.
trying to get that going, and
Yeah, it's been a challenge.
days.
The heat exchanger was tied up out in one of the ports for quite some time and finally made it here. So we also did a little bit of work on the Rancho house. We're not quite finished with it, but our responsibility of that project was to rebuild the west entrance door to the basement. It's a lot better than it has been ever been. So the whole house.
Christmas decorations and lights on it too.
Yes. We can't take credit for that. The rec center is responsible for that. But so the house is finally buttoned up, and it should be a lot more fuel efficient and retain its heat. So
And which house is that?
the Rancho house right there
Rancho,
next to the
Yep,
right.
yep.
Yeah.
You give a little brief project. What do they project to do with that? in the
That's
future?
okay. That's open for discussion. They're looking at some sort of social services maybe to go in there. But time will tell. I know they're wanting to figure that out here soon because they'd like to start using some of their investment that they put into that property. So, and it'd probably be best for the property too if someone's in it. We check it, once or twice a week, but it's not the same as if somebody were in it. So, but that's something the council I think is going to have to work on, figure out what they want to actually put in there. Let's see here. We've been working on equipment, of course. We have all of our snow equipment on. We're ready to go. So, yeah, we're just waiting on snow now. So.
No.
Yeah, no.
No snow.
Yeah. But anyway, we're ready to go. You have to be prepared for that because when it does hit, you have to keep parking lots open and all that stuff. This time of year, we did our annual tree wrapping. That's where you wrap the paper around like our maples and all of our newly planted trees just to prevent sun skull over winter. It's freezing like on the south side of trees. It freezes and the sun hits it and it pops the bark. But if you wrap it, that prevents that from happening. So we got over that.
See, these are educational meetings.
I know.
too.
I actually
I
learned
am
something.
learning.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yep. So that tender bark, the sun, between the being frozen and the sun heating it up, it superheats it and pops the bark, and then that's why you see on maples mostly on the south side, west
Mhm.
west and south side of trees. The bark's all mangled up and scarred up.
How old do the trees have to be before they stop getting rubbed?
Once you start seeing the crevices in the bark, you
Uh-huh.
know, when it gets more mature, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. But
Okay.
it's when it's that smooth bark is when you have to really worry about it.
Oh, baby bark.
Mm-hmm. Adorable.
We also been pruning trees. This is really the best time of year to prune trees, just because the trees have gone dormant. We'll continue to do that as long as the weather holds. It's a never-ending challenge pruning trees. It's that overgrowth and trying to keep them raised up high enough so our mowers aren't clipping them all the time when they're underneath of them. So we've been working on that. We cleared some overgrown property fence line at Kosher Park. It's just the fence line had kind of overgrown, so that was cleared out.
Little site, local, Kosher Park, where's that?
Kosher Park is right across from Penn Elementary School. So it's a ball field. It was actually used to be called City Park. I think back in 1969 maybe, when it was first brought on. But yeah, it was the North Liberty's very first park, Kosher.
Right. History lessons too?
I know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The community garden site, I don't know if you've been at the community gardens, but
Mhm.
all that vegetation from over the summer from people's plots, has been all cleaned up and mowed down and put to bed for the winter. It'll be ready to go for next spring, summer for the new plot or garden users. We continue to meet with Shive Hatter regarding the Centennial Park Loop Road project. It's getting pretty close as far as all the physical work. The seating is probably won't happen this fall yet. I mean, unless we have some more mild weather. But that's really come along. It's going to remain closed for the winter, however. And just as an FYI, we have been receiving quite a few complaints from the residents on that south side of Centennial Park because of vehicular traffic. Some of it I know is they're not used to it, but we may have to consider some options on how to deter vehicular traffic late in the evening out there. So
Where at in the park are they complaining about it?
it's on the south side where the loop road just
Right.
loops from one side to the other, so it's on the back side,
Hmm.
which is the south side of Centennial. And it's fairly somewhat close to the residents, and I understand their concern, but I think we'll have to probably do something in the future to help that.
Actually, parks closing at certain times
Yeah,
doesn't keep the
yeah.
road from being
Right, so I don't know if it's some sort of
engaged.
gate that automatically shuts at a certain time or something. I'm just saying I'm sure it's gonna be brought up in front of this board eventually. So, but anyway, that project's come along quite well. Now the Forever Green Road project, the trail along Forever Green, we're gonna do a final walkthrough tomorrow. So the trail's all complete, the grading's done. They seeded it today. It's a dormant seed. And Shive Hattery and city staff, we're gonna do a walkthrough on it just to make sure everything is the way it should be before we approve the final on that. So that's nice to have that project done. So, and the reason for that project is because and I'm sure I've told you this before, but the trail's there before any of the houses, and then the houses were built quite higher than trails, so their yards, the moisture, water always seeped across the trail through the summer and the winter. So in the summertime, we had this kind of the slime layer, and in the wintertime, we had kind of an ice. So we raised the trail and put kind of a swale between yards and the trail. So hopefully that will deter some of that. That was the main reasons for safety. So that's a nice project to have to complete. We're still working on the Dubuque Street improvements projects. Our our end of it, I had solicited, um, we had an asbestos survey done in the old plant clinic, the chiropractor clinic, in the salon. So that building's gonna go away when this Dubuque Street project starts up next spring. So we had an asbestos survey done. Before you do any kind of demo work, you have to have testing done, and the pet clinic had a little bit of asbestos in it, so we've solicited, asbestos contractors to come in. We've chosen a contractor, and hopefully, middle of December probably, we're looking at, having them come in and remove the asbestos out of that building. The, we have until, let's see, this March 28th, I believe. March 28th is when the final day that, the chiropractor has possession of his side of it. And so February 1st, we're planning on, that's when the demo is gonna start, somewhere time around that time frame. That whole building's gonna go away. Other than that, I've turned in my FY 22-23 budget, the 5-year capital, CIP capital improvements project. And I have a meeting coming up in the near future here with city administration over here regarding this budget season, what we will be able to do and what they're gonna cut. So I won't know until after that meeting, kind of a better idea. My big one this year is additional employees. I for sure want to get one, hopefully two. But if you've noticed, the landscaping duties have really increased on us, especially with all the medians, the bike, the tunnel that's going in,
All the roundabouts.
all the roundabouts.
Yep.
And with that, we're actually looking at creating a new position, someone who will basically take ownership of that duty, and oversee that stuff, because it's very important. It's very time consuming, and it takes a lot of work to keep, landscaping looking pristine throughout the summer. So, that's just one of the things that I'm trying to push for this budget season.
And that's what makes North Liberty such a nice place to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially like the trails and, it just.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
just the
it's-
fact that everything looks so nice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You should get that employee.
Well, I have your vote. That's great. But other than that, if you have any questions for us, please feel free to ask.
Or the projections on the trail that hooks in the tunnel and the trail along 965, is that all, that'll be done this spring or
Yeah, from my understanding, it will be.
soon as they,
As soon as they, yeah.
because the tunnel, where's it gonna go when it comes on the east side?
On the east side, it's not gonna go, from what I've seen, it's not gonna go as far as you could think, what you think it would, because I think they're gonna wait on more development to take it more farther down south. So, I was a little disappointed on that it's really not going as far as I thought it would be on that side, but I think it's future plans.
Because when you come out of there, I mean, will you be right into the Court Street, or will there be something that,
I think it goes just a little bit to the south, but not very far, from my understanding on that one. So,
then they'll be on the west side,
mhm.
back up to Fairway and
Yep. That's gonna be a great
Great
connection.
connection,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes.
Anything else?
No, it's too bad we can't show the pictures, the pretty pictures
Yeah.
they show us. of
Yeah,
the
kinda.
project, Maybe.
Sometimes I figure,
Dick, you can put those,
yeah, those few pictures are worth more than the page of stuff.
put those up so we show people what, well, a lot of work and the Christmas lights and that
Yeah, that looks
are
great.
up and.
Yep, and now, again, the park department can't take responsibility for that. Street department
Street
is
does
kind of
the
taking
light.
on that responsibility as far as street lights and stuff like
No.
that, so.
Yeah, we all work together, that's,
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks good
yeah.
though.
that's
Looks really
important.
good.
Anything else on parks? because Guy is gonna give us the rest of the
Well,
recreation, the rec center reports.
I really don't have, I haven't, the only thing I had really with the rec center was the pool.
Yeah.
So, what you're seeing in front of you is the same thing that I know. As far as rec center. You heard monthly report.
Yeah. Well,
If you have any questions, I might be able to help, but
I don't think I don't know if there was anything that stood out to us. I know in following some of the news and everything, I think concern about, I think they're having numbers and participating, but like officials, getting officials I think that's getting to be an issue a lot of places.
Hmm.
And I know, anybody out there that thinks about doing that, there are ways of becoming an official, and they do use officials at the rec center. I mean, there's some training and kind of appeal to parents of the participants to go easy on officials, because that's some reason sometimes that people don't want to go into that. But as a former coach, I appreciate officials. So.
absolutely.
Very, very much. So I think what I've seen, participation, the pool, that's what everybody's been waiting on, that indoor pool. So we
Yeah.
get the lessons going again. And I know that anybody that's connected with the rec center, you get emails, you get up-to-date information. Shelley keeps people posted about what's going on, and things that have been beyond anybody's control. So. But I think that as far as their activities, they're dealing with the circumstances as best they can, and I think they've had good participation and keep things going. So we appreciate that. The staff, everything's out there. People, we don't realize we get to enjoy the beauty and the use, and we don't realize what it takes in the background. So
Only thing I'd really else know about the rec center is some more of the building maintenance stuff that's going on. The library gutter that was ripped off from the ice jam last winter, the fascia's been getting replaced, downspouts. The roof gas line that got ripped off they're worked on that. So there's been a lot of building maintenance things happening at the rec center this summer. So hopefully, knock on wood, let's get through all this, that we have a good building for a while.
and the thing I forgot to ask you, it's conversation out there, the splash pad. The splash pad is going to happen at Centennial, right?
Well,
Or is that tied up?
that now, I mean, I can't get into it too deep, but I do know city council, from what I've been hearing, that they're really wanting to push and move forward with the Centennial Park completion. And that would include the big amphitheater, the meeting room hall to go with that amphitheater. And we're tying the splash pad in with that project is what our goal is. So when we fundraise, we can bring two sources of fundraising, into one. So that's all going to depend on how fast they want to move as far as fundraising goes, because it's going to take some fundraising to make that happen out there.
Oh, and again, reiterate, I think Centennial Park is what people are accepting as the big city park.
Yeah.
All these other small parks. I heard somebody said they discovered the zip line at
Yeah,
Beaver Park.
yeah, I had no idea.
All these small parks around and neighborhood parks. Deerfield, we appreciate the park, but there's kind of that one where the whole community can come together, and I think everybody's looking forward for that. For that development. Yeah.
We speaking of Deerfield Park, the shelter out there, they haven't finished the roof on that yet. The roofing contractor, we started a year ago and approved them to do a lot of our hail damage from last year, and he still hasn't finished all of the roofs because he's trying to keep his crews moving, and hopefully soon we'll be finished. But we have Deerfield Park and Quail Ridge Park yet that needs the roof repairs done yet. But I don't know if you noticed that Penn Meadows Park, pretty much everything up there has been replaced.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're patient in Deerfield. So.
yeah.
A lot of, roofing, everything. I
Yeah, yeah.
understand how that's going on. Anything else? Will we move forward? I think, you guys done appreciate you filling in, giving all the reports tonight. I guess I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion.
Jeremy
Yeah.
moved.
I'll second.
Second that, Gwen. Any objection to adjourning? Meeting adjourned.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Next meeting, what, Thursday, January 7th? I'll get that on your calendar.
Wow, next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we should have had a holiday.
See you next year.
I want to probably miss that one because that's my 10th anniversary.
Ooh.
So maybe do I need to nominate or get someone to take the minutes since I won't be present?
Who's our volunteer usually? Did Shannon do it last time?
It's an easy